All right, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are viewing from today. I want to thank you all for, well, looks like we have our first sound issue. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're all set. All right. Thank you for taking time out of your day today to join us. This is the Reality Cards New User Onboarding Workshop. I'm Invetic.eth. I am the community ambassador here for Reality Cards. And today what we're going to do is, this is for more or less a comprehensive tutorial on getting you, the new user, started with everything you would need in order to interact and enjoy the Reality Cards platform. So specifically what we'll be doing today is, if you aren't already set up, we will get you set up with your first MetaMask account. We will be adding USDC and Matic tokens, migrating those tokens from mainnet Ethereum over to the Polygon network, and then placing your first bet on the Reality Cards platform. Now, just a couple things before we get into the meat of all of this content. Today's session will be recorded. So if you planned on watching this live stream and either forgot or you had a scheduling conflict, fret not. We will have this posted on our YouTube page for you to reference back later. Additionally, if you have any questions for those that are attending and viewing this live stream, please feel free to post those in the YouTube chat, and I will answer those as I have pockets of time going through some of the various steps for the onboarding workshop. And then last, there will be a POAP distribution. I will announce the instructions on how to claim today's POAP at the end of this workshop. A few other things here in terms of the format of how today's workshop will flow. We have all of the main components set up and ready to go, but it's going to work kind of like a cooking show in the sense that we have all the ingredients. I'll show you how to put everything together, and then we'll stop at a point and I'll have sort of pull out the metaphorical pre-baked item and switch over to the system that's already in place. So I'll get you up to a point, and then we'll switch over to assets that have already been configured so we can keep things going. So that is to say, if you're truly a brand new user, if you don't have a MetaMask account, the idea here is to lay out the steps in which to get you configured. What this workshop is not meant to do is play along step by step. There are a few things that you will need to do on your own outside of this workshop in order to fully be onboarded, mainly getting yourself some ETH. And I will point out these things as we go along. The ETH is necessary for the migration of funds using the Polygon Bridge. In addition to US users, there's a certain restriction that you'll have to address yourselves. However, that all being said, if you reference this workshop, all the steps necessary to get you onboarded will be addressed here. Any questions, concerns, I'll open it up to a Q&A after the workshop. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is get you set up with your very first MetaMask account. Now, we're going to go through this sort of speed run through this. There's a lot of different components. There's a lot of different details that we need to go through. We're just going to run through it and just get you set up as quickly as possible as to interact with the Reality Cards platform. If you have questions or you're confused on something, please feel free to contact us directly on our Discord. Links to all of our social media are in the video description of this live stream. Additionally, all of the steps that we're going to be going over today in this workshop, they're all listed in a step-by-step tutorial article. So every step that we go through, if you are actually finding yourself following along during this live stream and you get caught up on something and you lose your spot, just reference those step-by-step text tutorials. Again, link to that is in the video description of this live stream. So back to MetaMask here. Basically what this is your gateway. This is one form of wallet. It is not the wallet, but it's sort of the industry standard as it stands today. And what we'll be doing is heading on over to metamask.io. And what I'm doing is accessing this in Google Chrome. This will work just fine for Mozilla Firefox or Brave. So let's go ahead and first download this extension. We'll be installing MetaMask for Chrome. Let's go ahead and add to Chrome. This is going to go ahead and download the extension. All right, so we've installed the MetaMask extension on our Google Chrome browser. So let's go ahead and go through their setup wizard. We are creating a new wallet in this case. This is your choice, whether you want to help improve MetaMask by allowing certain analytics. We'll go ahead and say agree. We will make a password. This will be the password to access your MetaMask account. Make sure that's obviously secure and that you can remember it. All right, we've got our MetaMask password set up. We're not going to watch this video, albeit it's only 1 minute and 35 seconds. I highly encourage you to do this. And what it goes over is addressing what exactly a secret recovery phrase is, the importance of that secret recovery phrase, and how what the best practices are in terms of securing it and understanding that here's basically just a quick aside in terms of like Web 3 versus Web 2. Web 2, everything is sort of done for you in this nice walled garden. So for example, if we think of your Google account, if you forget your password, you can hit like a forget password and receive your recovery. If you delete an email, for example, in your Google account, you can recover that in your trash. Web3 has a form of permanence in that you, the user, are sort of responsible for all things associated with your Web3 account, meaning if you lose your password, if you delete something, that is permanent. So you are solely responsible for your passwords and your secret recovery phrase. If you lose it, that's sort of it. You can't really go to MetaMask and ask them to recover it. That's not something they keep on hand. So it's just an important item of note there. So continuing on, it's going to display our secret recovery phrase. Now, again, just an item of note here in terms of instilling best practices. If this really is your first time setting up a MetaMask account, you would never for any reason show someone this secret recovery phrase. So I would never, for example, use this wallet in real life. This is for demonstration purposes only. And I'm saying that because I'm obviously publicly showing my secret recovery phrase, meaning that if, for example, one of the live viewers were to take this seed phrase and import it into their MetaMask account, they would have access to my wallet. So this is sort of gives the importance as to how and why you should keep your secret recovery phrase private and away from anyone else that isn't you. So for the sake of this demonstration, we're just going to copy and paste this into our text document here, and we're going to go ahead and click next. MetaMask is going to ask us, because of the importance of the seed phrase, because this is a one-shot thing, they want to make sure that you, the user, have this written down somewhere. So it's going to ask you to verify that seed phrase. We're going to go ahead and do that really quick here. Okay, so we've confirmed our secret recovery phrase and we're all set to go. So now we have our new MetaMask Wallet. So now this is our gateway into all things Web3, into the metaverse. So this allows us to interact with dApps and to get tokens and claim POAPs and do all the wonderful things that you can do in the world of Web3. So it all starts here. So just a couple things to note here. This is our public wallet address. So we're just going to copy this because we'll need to reference that later. We're going to put that into our text document here. So we've sort of accomplished our first step here. We've got a task list of all the things that we want to cover today, and we've set up our MetaMask account. Now the next thing we want to do is add USDC and Matic tokens to our MetaMask wallet. And the reason we want to do that is USDC is the native token used in order to place bets on the Reality Cards platform. And Matic tokens are it's the gas fee token used to interact with Polygon. And Polygon is the network that Reality Cards is hosted on. So this can be very overwhelming and intimidating, especially if this really is your first time interacting with Ethereum. But if you think about it this way, if we're walking into a metaphorical casino, you would walk in with your wallet and it would presumably have money in it. And if we're in the US, you would have the US dollar. So what we've done here is by setting up our MetaMask wallet, that's sort of our wallet walking into the casino. And what we want to do is when you're in the casino is for example, when I'm playing a slot machine, maybe for example, and I want to cash out, I would actually get a ticket. You don't actually get money back. You get a token effectively, a representation of value. So what we're doing here is by adding the Matic tokens and eventually migrating those over from Ethereum to Polygon, we're effectively just exchanging our dollar for the currency that the casino accepts as a gamified token. So let's go ahead and start that process. The first thing we're going to need to do is add both the USDC and Matic contract addresses to our MetaMask account. So let's go ahead and do that. The links to all of the resources that I'm going over today are in the live stream video description, in addition to the step-by-step tutorial listed in the video description as well. So if you get lost or you're not able to see exactly the web URL, please find those in the video description. So the first thing we're going to do is let's go back to our MetaMask account, and we are going to add our bookmark here. We're going to pin it so it's easier to access, and we're going to click on MetaMask, and we are going to import a token. We're going to search for it, and in this case we're going to search for USDC. It is right here. We're going to click on next, import tokens, and we're going to do the same thing for Matic. Okay, so now we have the placeholders for our USDC and Matic, but what we really want is, since this is on Ethereum mainnet and Reality Cards is on the Polygon network, we want to transfer these assets over. And the easiest way to do that, since we have our wallet address, is to head on over to the Reality Cards Discord. And this is a really cool feature that we just added to the Discord, and that is a faucet that automatically distributes USDC and Matic tokens onto the Polygon network. So you don't even actually have to use the migration tool, though we will go over that briefly today. So what I'll do is let's go back to MetaMask and copy our wallet address. And we do that simply by pushing the account 1. It automatically adds it to our clipboard. We'll go to the Discord server, and we're going to find under the Community Ambassador section a user called RC Tap, Reality Cards Tap. We're just going to click on that bot, and in the direct message field on the bottom here, we're going to type in exclamation point, make it rain, space, and then we're just going to copy our Ethereum wallet address and hit enter. And what's happening here is the bot is reviewing our wallet address to make sure that we don't already have USDC and Matic tokens, and distributing those to our wallet. And it looks like I've already claimed here, so let me go ahead and switch over to that account real quick. All right, so if you were a new user, that would have been deposited into your MetaMask account. However, you wouldn't actually see it in this screen because this is your Ethereum mainnet view, and the bot deposits both the Matic and USDC onto the Polygon network. So let's go ahead and get you set up onto the Polygon network. This is probably the part where it's least intuitive, especially when you've just opened up your MetaMask account. So let's go ahead and do that. The process is we're going to follow setting up a new Rpc endpoint. Again, the step-by-step instructions linked in the video description. What we're going to do here is I've already got those, the information rather, to add the custom RPC in the text document here. What you'll do is go up to the account. I probably went through that a little fast. You'll go through the drop-down menu here, and at the bottom you'll see a custom RPC. We're going to go ahead and click on that. First thing we're going to do is add the network name. We're going to add the RPC URL. We're going to add the chain ID number, currency symbol, and lastly, the Block Explorer URL. Go ahead and click Save. And now we can see here in the drop-down menu that we're on the Polygon network. So now we've got it added to our wallet. But you'll notice we don't have any Matic, and we don't have the USDC showing up. So what we need to do first is add the USDC placeholder so we can see funds being added here. Right now I've got the USDC token contract address here, so I'm going to copy and paste the contract address, go back to MetaMask and import tokens. It's going to ask for the token contract address. We're just going to copy and paste that in there. It's going to auto-populate the rest of the fields, and then we'll hit add tokens. Okay, so now we have the placeholders for both Matic and USDC. Now, if you were to have interacted with the Discord bot, the 1 Matic token and the 20 USDC tokens would be deposited here, and you would see those reflected as well here. So that is one way, again, as a new user, if you don't already have those tokens, that you can get set up with those tokens to eventually deposit onto the Reality Cards platform. The second way in which you can do this, and I'm going to go over that right now, is to use the Polygon Bridge. So if you already have a MetaMask account and you're sort of already familiar with Web3, what we're going to do is if you go to wallet.polygon.technology, we're going to go ahead and click on the Polygon Bridge. It's It's going to ask us to connect our MetaMask account. We're going to go ahead and do that. Hit next and connect. We're just going to sign a message just to authenticate that we are a valid user. Now this is where we can bridge or migrate from Ethereum mainnet over to the Polygon network. So if I have Ethereum, and in this case, what we'd want is USDC and Matic. So I would pick both the USDC and Matic tokens, and I would migrate from Ethereum to Polygon, one after another. So I'd first do USDC, for example, and then do Polygon. And then once those have been bridged over, now you have those funds over on your Polygon side in your MetaMask wallet. All right. So we've gone through how to add and set up your MetaMask with USDC and Matic. We've gone over the bridge on how to migrate those funds. So now let's go over how do we interact with reality cards? How do I deposit those funds in order to place your first bet? So let's go ahead and check that out here. So now we're over on beta.realitycards.io. This is the Reality Cards platform. This is our main landing page. And let's go over a couple of the user items here. So I'll make this a little bit larger so we can see. We can see at the top here that I'm already connected with my public wallet address. What I'm going to do here is exit out so we can see what this would look like when first connecting your account. So if you're a new user and you've never connected before, this is the website and how it should look. So what we're going to do is first connect our MetaMask account. And what you'll need to do is if you go to MetaMask, you're going to have to make sure that you're on the Polygon network. And we are in fact on the Polygon network on ours. You can also see here that we've already got 50 USDC deposited on our account. But let's go ahead and deposit a little bit more so you can see what that process looks like. So just referencing back previously, we went to the Discord faucet and it deposited those Matic and USDC tokens over to our Polygon address. So the next step would be to click the plus sign, and it's going to ask us here to, in this case, deposit. And we're going to want to deposit just a few USDC. So let me go ahead and do that really quick. Let's do, say, $100 and deposit that over. It's going to ask us to first approve this transaction. We're going to click confirm in our MetaMask account. We'll take a moment and then what we'll do is it's approve that transaction. So then we need to confirm that transaction and pay for it with the Matic. That's why we're depositing over both of those tokens. It takes some gas fees in order to make that transaction. So we're confirming that in our MetaMask account. And we can actually see this. Let's dive into this. So if we click this right here, oh, looks like it was a little bit too quick. That's actually part of the cool part about Polygon. It's a very quick layer 2 solution. So we can see here we've deposited our first 100 USDC onto the Reality Cards platform. And in fact, we had $50 previously, and now we can see that we have 150 USDC ready to go, ready to use to place our first bets within the platform. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's walk through exactly what placing a bet looks like and interacting with the Reality Cards platform. So here, what we're going to do is hit active events. We can see a list of all of the open and closed events. For example, these are already ended. These were previous events. So let's take a look at, let's take this first one. What will Tesla's stock price close at on Friday, 22nd of October? So this is very interesting to me. So we click into it and we see two options here. We see below $800 or above $800. And then we see this this USDC price per hour. So let's pick a side here. Let's, you know, I'm feeling optimistic. I'm a fan of Tesla. So I'm going to say that will Tesla stock price close, or what will it be rather, after Friday the 22nd? I think it's going to be above $800. So let's go ahead and choose this option. So what I'm saying is I'm going to place a bet and say that it's going to be above $800. So let me move my camera out of the way here so we can see the screen a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so what we want to do here is let's get familiar with the concept first. So this differs from what you would consider a traditional bet in the sense that normally if you go to a casino, for example, and you bet on an option, let's say horse racing, you bet on ABC horse, that's it. You're done, and the only thing you have to do is watch the race happen. This is a little bit different. This is a little bit more involved. It involves potentially a little bit of strategy. It requires you to be engaged with this option in order to compete for multiple reasons. And I'll go over those really shortly here. So what we want to first do in order to enter into this wager is rent the card. This is actually an NFT. And we are going to say, we're just going to set the minimum price here. And what this is doing is the current price is $12.31 USDC. And in order for us to participate within this event, we have to set a price 10% above the previous, which is $13.55. The platform does it automatically by setting the set minimum. So we're going to go ahead and we've hit that button. And let's go ahead and hit rent card. It's going to ask us to confirm a transaction on MetaMask. It's going to process that transaction. And now we can see, if we look back here, the card is set to $13.55, which is what we set it at. And now we can see that me, Envetica.eth, is the current owner of this card. And now if we scroll down to the bottom here and look at the leaderboard, we'll just expand this a little bit more. Refresh here. All right, so once we can see our rent list, so we're the first one here, meaning that we have the top bid. Now once we exceed, so the idea here is the longer I hold or rent this card, I'll see my account slowly tick up this leaderboard. So for example, this wallet address, this account, has been renting this card for just over 9 hours. The longer you hold a card for, it means that you'll be the winner then. So the way this works currently is, let's say this event stopped right now, as we were discussing this. This wallet address would be the winner. And it determines two things. One, the first place winner receives the actual NFT of this event, meaning that it'll be in their wallet address and they can say, for fact, I guessed right. I was intelligent enough to know that it was going to be $800 or above, and I can prove it because I have this NFT saying that I in fact bet and won correctly. Now, the second thing that the amount of time or percentage of ownership here dictates is of the pot size here, which is at the moment a little over $1,400, they're going to receive 41% of that. Likewise, the other percentages here will show exactly what your winnings are. In fact, if we hover over this, if this event were to stop right now, this account would receive, here, I'll make this a little bit bigger, $54. This account would receive $42, $30. And that's all based on the length of time that this card was rented for. So the reason this is important is because there's a bit of strategy involved. For example, if someone else were to come in here and place a bet above my 1355, so say someone else set the minimum and increased it, that would stop my timer and start their timer. So their time would increase and they would start going up the leaderboard, and mine would stop, meaning that the percentage of winnings that I would receive do not increase anymore. It means they would stop where they are, and the person that set the next bet would begin to increase percentage of owner time and thus increase their overall pot size. The other thing I want to do here is go over a new feature that we just added, which is underbidding, and it adds a layer of strategy to more competitive events. And what you can do here is, let's say, for example, that some of these events can become very popular. They can become very expensive. For example, this event is only $13.55 an hour to rent, but it could go up to maybe $50, maybe $75, which becomes very expensive as an hourly rate. So one strategy, for example, is to underbid, and that's exactly where this rent list comes into play. So let's go ahead and change our bet here. Let's just call it 10 USDC. Well, actually, let's first exit our position. We're going to process and confirm that. It's going to process on the site. There we go. So now we've exited our position. And now we can see here, this is actually a good example, that because we've removed our position, meaning that we're no longer renting the card, that the second position here, number 2, is starting to accrue time because they've presumably placed an underbid position. So what we're going to do here is, let's just, even though the hourly rate is $12.31, let's put in 10. We're going to place our bid. We're going to confirm it on MetaMask, and it's going to process on the site. We'll just give it a second here to load. Okay, so we've placed our bid. But you'll notice, because it wasn't 10% above, we're not renting the card and we're not the current owner. So what happened? Let's go take a look at this. If we look at the rent list, we're right here. We're actually in 4th position with the bid that we placed. And what this means is it positions us, and this says that I'm going to place a bid as a placeholder. And our hope, the strategy here, is that these 3 positions above us, we're hoping that either they run out of funds, that the amount of money that they've got deposited on the site, that they run out renting the card itself. So say it skyrockets and does go up to $75 an hour, but they only have $100 of USDC in their account. Well, after 2 hours or after an hour and some change, they'll run out. They no longer have the funds in order to rent that card. So their account stops renting it, and the next one above, in this case, it would be this second position, would begin accruing time and would be the next renter of that card. The second possibility here is if, for example, for whatever reason, the person exits their position, whether maybe they're changing their mind and they want to rent a different option within this event, or maybe they're just interested in the event. Whatever the case may be, if they exit that position, that then allows the next person in line to rent that card at the amount they've put in. So it sort of places you in order of that underbid. So for example, if we wanted to try this strategy out, we can see that, let's say we know mathematically that we're not going to be the leader and sustain at 12.31. But what we do want to do is we think that Cryptonomical is not going to be renting this for much longer. So we want to sneak underneath his bid, but above this bid, so that we're next in line, but not actively renting it until either Crypto Comical runs out of funds or exits their position. So let's set it slightly under the 1231 position here. And let's just call it $12. And we'll place our bid, confirm it with our MetaMask account. It will process on the site here. Let's wait for that to load in just a moment. And now if we go down to our rent list, oh, we didn't quite make it. So we're next in line here. So we were fourth with the 924 USDC, and now we're next in line here. So we're competing with spots 2 and 3. So now we're playing strategies. We're trying to figure out how best to position ourselves in order to stretch out our funds, but also be the top renter here. So this is reality cards. Now let's just pretend, for example, that we won. We were the top bidder. We were in position 1, and this side of the event was the correct side. This was the winning event. What we would do here is if we click on our in the upper right hand corner, our account, it'll bring us to our profile page. And I want to point this out for a couple of reasons. It's a great way to manage your positions and also to kind of know where your NFT cards are. So we can see here our previous positions, what our success rate was, how much we paid in rent, so on and so forth. But we can also see our trophy cabinet here. And in our case, we have an NFT here that we're able to claim. So events that we participate in will all be in your trophy cabinet and able to claim at your leisure. So this is reality cards. This is how it works. This is how you would place your first bet. This is how you start claiming and scooping up exclusive NFT art in addition to placing bets and making money. This is a great platform in that sense because you do get money, obviously, depending on, obviously, you need to be on the winning side of these events. So say, for example, this was the winning event. You get a nice little chunk of change. But the real prize here is the NFT. And the reason I say that is because it's exclusive. It's one of one. It's something that that's non-fungible. And it's something that as reality cards grows and matures, we'll be using more of. So it could be a gateway into different aspects of the platform, whether that be access to certain things. We're still developing what those mechanics may look like, but the more NFTs that you have, the more value that these will bring. So incredibly cool, incredibly powerful. If you have questions, if you're confused about something, we'd love to hear from you. Our direct link is in the video description to our Discord channel. That is basically it. That is how you interact with and place your first bet on the Reality Cards platform. I do really want to thank everyone for showing up today and going through and walking through the step-by-step how to interact with and place your first bets on the Reality Cards platform. So let's go over the POAP for today's workshop and how you would claim said POAP. I'm going to be putting a link in the YouTube chat here. Do that right now. There's a survey link. It's a Google form. And what we need you to do is input your Ethereum wallet address. And once we receive the survey and your Ethereum wallet address, we will airdrop the POAP to that address. You have until the end of today to fill out the survey in its entirety, and you will be eligible for today's POAP. These are incredibly valuable in the sense that we will soon begin POAP.fun raffles, wherein we will start giving away cash prizes exclusive one-of-one NFTs, and a couple exciting things that we've got in the works. And the only way that you have the opportunity in which to grab those things are to have the eligible POAPs, this being one of those POAPs. So make sure that you fill out that survey, and we'll get you your POAP. Again, by the end of the day, it'll be airdropped into your Ethereum wallet address. Any questions, any concerns, any support that you need in order to get set up, please feel free, again, reach out to us on Discord, Twitter, the step-by-step instructions, all listed in the video description. These will be happening weekly, every Wednesday. The times will vary in order to support both our US, European, and Asian communities. So those will all be published on our Medium and Twitter accounts. Make sure you take and keep a lookout on those platforms. That's it for me, everybody. I'm Invetica.eth. This has been the Reality Cards New User Workshop. We'll see you all on next Wednesday.